Hi Rima. What are you doing here? Hi Sidi. I'm waiting for a friend. But she doesn't come. We plan to study together about our group assignment from Pamarjuni. I see. Let's go to the library instead. I also have to write an article about American modern literature. I have an assignment from Busandra. Okay. Let's go. Come on. By the way, have you read A Negro Speaks of River, a poem by Langston Hughes? Yeah. It is about a personal connection to the history of speaker's race. I see. In the first line, the speaker says that he is familiar with a lot of rivers. He is also familiar with rivers that are as old as the planet itself. Older than blood pumping through people's veins. While, in the fourth line he says that his soul has become very deep, just like the rivers he knows. Okay. Please continue. Then, he went swimming in the Euphrates River, when human civilization was still young, and even sunrises were new. And in the sixth line, he built his home near the Congo River, so that the sound of its water helped him fall asleep. He continues in the next line, that he saw the Nile and helped build the pyramids on its shore. The speaker talks about Mississippi River also, right? Yes. He heard the Mississippi River sound as if it were singing, when Abraham Lincoln traveled on it, to New Orleans. And he saw the surface of that muddy river, like a person's chest, reflect the sunset that turning gold. What about the conclusion of the poem? In the last line he declares once again that he has been familiar with a lot of rivers which was very old and dark rivers. And that his soul has become very deep, just like the rivers he knows. Very good explanation, Rima. I understand now. Oh my god. What's wrong, Rima? I forget that right now is a makeup class from Padayat. I have to go to the class right now. Okay. Don't worry. I'm waiting for you here. While I'm searching and reading some books. Thank you, Sidi. I'm late.
The Harlem Renaissance can be said as the enlightenment of Black Americans in the 1920s and 1930s. This era is also known as the New Negro Movement, an era in which Black Americans began to realize their existence. The Harlem Renaissance was a movement in literature, art, and intellectuals that explained the cultural identity of the new Black American. This movement is rooted in their bitterness because of the oppression by whites in a peculiar institution, that is slavery. The horror of living under the slavery is then manifested in the form of works such as autobiographies, poetry, songs, and other genres.
It has something to do with racism, Professor?
Yes. Even though slavery had been abolished in America during Abraham Lincoln administration, and Black Americans had got their freedom, racism is still a terrible thing for Black Americans. Literature, and other works of art, then become a way for them to voice their horror. Through literature, and other works of art, Black Americans hope that issues of racism can be heard more widely, so that there is an awareness for everyone, that racism is something very inappropriate to exist in the world.
Who are the authors and poets of this movement?
One of prominent poets in this era is Langston Hughes. Hughes began to find his own style of writing, a rhythmic style, typical of blues and jazz music. There is also Claude McKay, who has a distinctive feature of his work, on the theme of the struggle of Black people in achieving their rights. Then Jean Toomer, whose works portray the development of the Harlem Renaissance. We cannot forget Zora Neale Hurston, who is famous for her novel entitled Their Eyes Were Watching God, a novel that tells the struggle of a mulatto woman, named Janie Crawford, in facing racism issue. Other writers who joined this movement are W.E.B. Du Bois, Countee Cullen, Rudolph Fisher, Wallace Thurman, and Nella Larson.